Hello everyone and welcome to 2021 Wednesday class. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got Basti on the chat today.
Good morning.
There, you can hear him in the background there. And welcome to a new year of Wednesday classes. We've done over 40 Wednesday classes now. We always look forward to them each week and it's great to have you with us. Okay, so what we normally do is we check in with ourselves, how we are. So if you just want to say hi on the chat, say where you're from. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do similar kind of thing. Got some new things for you. We've got point of the week. I'm very excited about point of the week. It's one of my favorite points. But what we're going to hopefully do is by the end of this hour, we're all going to feel a little bit more chilled out, a bit more relaxed, a bit more centered, and a bit more able to cope. Because there's two things in a pandemic, aren't there? There's the actual illness itself, but there's also the stress around the illness. And that's where Shiatsu and Qigong and things like that can really help us, because it's a great technology for us to keep centered and keep positive and keep as calm as possible in the situation. So really glad you can join us. So let's start off. If you've got your pen and paper with you, we're going to find out how we are. And today we're going to do a whole body scan before we do the zones. We're going to do a whole body scan. And so I'll just show you how to do that, and we'll do a picture of our energy. And I've got a new poll for you to figure out how we're all feeling. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to sit or stand, and we're going to literally just scan through our body and just see how our energy is, okay? So here we go. I'm just going to stand just nice and relaxed. And if you imagine your awareness coming down from above your head and slowly scanning through your head, just becoming aware of your forehead, your eyes, your ears, nose and mouth. Becoming aware of how you're feeling in your head, how you're feeling in your neck, and then moving down to our shoulders, through our chest area, down our arms to our hands, and we're scanning down through the upper body, through down into the diaphragm and into our abdomen. Okay, down into our hips, down into our knees, ankles and feet. Okay, so we'll just scan right through our whole body now. If you could turn that into a picture or an image, what would that be like? So just tuning into our whole energy and drawing a picture. I'm going to come here, I've got my clipboard ready. And so I'm going to do an overall picture of how my energy feels. If you'd like to join me, that'd be a really good starting point. So that in an hour's time, we can check back and see how much change we've managed to create. Okay, very good. So thinking about your energy as a whole, I've got a new poll for New Year, okay? And this one is, how would you say, which one of these 5 options would best describes your energy? And I've got 5 options. One is kind of positive, you're feeling really balanced and strong. Secondly is blocked or obstructed. Third one is kind of weak and tired. And then I've got hot or agitated, and then cold or frozen. So I'm going to share this poll with you now. And let's get an idea of the group. Which of these 5 states do you think best describes your energy? strong and balanced, blocked or obstructed, weak or tired, hot or agitated. And if you were on the webinar last night, the New Energy Work webinar, we did pretty much the same exercise. And we've got a similar pattern here. So it's pretty much similar to what we had yesterday. We've got about 20% of people feel strong and balanced. And by far the biggest is blocked and obstructed. Then we've got weak or tired, hot or agitated, and cold or frozen. And if you're into yin and yang, you can see what I've done there. The first one is kind of a balance thing. The blocked or obstructed is more yang, obstruction. Weak or tired is more yin. Hot or agitated is again a heat or yang state. And cold or frozen is again a yin state or a yang deficient state. Okay, so it's very, very interesting. So now we can kind of tailor the class to the group as a whole. A lot of the exercises we do, by the way, are good for everything. So you don't need to worry about whether it's going to fit you or not. Okay, great. So let's just have a look at the slides and we'll just figure out which zone you think you're in. That's kind of an important thing as well. So if you remember this, we've done this, finding out how you are. We've got this zone, okay? If you remember, what we want to try and do is we want to try and regulate our nervous system. A lot of the techniques we use are a way of getting us from either the free state, and we noticed that a few of you are already in that state, and that's not a nice place to be, or in the red zone, which is where you've got kind of hyped up, and we're kind of like, our nervous system is very active. All these are natural states, by the way, but what we want to do is deregulate them when we can and get back into that green zone. Okay, so which zone do you think you're in at the moment? Do you think you're in the green zone where you feel kind of in the present and grounded? Or do you feel like you're activated? Or do you feel like you're edging into that blue zone? And this again will help us design the session for the group today. So here we go. Do you think you're in the green, red, blue, or a mixture of green and red, or a mixture of red and blue? That's interesting. That's never happened before. I can't see any responses. Let's have a look. Polls. No, it doesn't seem to be working. That's really interesting. It hasn't worked, but never mind. We don't need to worry about that. We can move on. Okay, so now let's go to the next thing we need to focus in on, which is the zones. Let's just have a look here. Okay, that's strange. It's not worked. Okay, let's have a look at the chat. Yeah, the poll doesn't work. Never mind. Never mind. That's the first time. I'll have to tell the people about that. But let's see. Let's just see if the next one will work. Let's figure out which of the three heaters that we need to work on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to spend the next couple of minutes tuning into our three heaters. So what we need to do now is create a chart like this and just divide it into three zones like this. So we've got the lower, the middle, and the upper. And we're just going to tune in internally and see if we can find out what's happening in our burners. So just to remind you, the lower burner is from the navel down into the lower back. Okay. Like this. Okay. And we're going to first of all tune into that area. So let's just close our eyes, relax and go internally and just see what is it like in the lower burner. Okay, and now we're just going to draw or write some words in the lower burner here. Okay, so I'm going to draw what my lower burner feels like. Okay, and just to give you some ideas, according to the classics of Chinese medicine, the lower burner should feel kind of strong, not too hot or too cold, but kind of substantial and kind of fairly strong and grounded. Okay, so now let's go up onto the middle burner. And about towards the end of last year, the middle burner was the favorite one. So let's see what's happening with it now. We're going to go from below the diaphragm around into the lower thoracic. So it's this whole area here. It includes the stomach and the liver. Let's close our eyes, tune in. Okay, and what is that like? What's the middle burner like? And we're going to draw this into the middle burner. And again, according to the Chinese medicine classics, the middle burner basically should feel nice and relaxed and open. What you want to avoid is heat and obstruction in that area. It needs to be kind of flowing. So if you can remember back, if you've been in the classes before, you can remember back and just check in with how your middle burner feels today compared to previous weeks. Okay, very good. And now finally the upper burner, and then we can start the exercises. So the upper burner is the whole chest area, the lungs and the heart, and it goes through into the thoracic spine at the back. Okay, and we're going to close our eyes. Okay, and we're going to tune into the upper burner, and as soon as you're ready, we can draw that. Again, Chinese medicine recommends that it's like a mist. It should feel spacious, not kind of blocked, and definitely not dry or hot. It should be like a kind of moist, like a mist, they say. Okay, now let's just see whether this pole is going to work. We've never had a pole not work before, but there we are. It's a new year. Let's see if this works. Let's try it. If not, I'll redo it. Let's go. Let's try this one. Which burner do you want to work on most today? Yes, it's working. Hooray. Okay, so let's see. If you remember, what happened last year was we had a massive switch from the lower and middle into the upper burner just before Christmas. But it looks like we've swung back now, and we've got a far bigger vote for the lower and the middle burner. Look at that. That's a massive switch, everyone. Okay, so we need to tweak the exercises in that respect. Okay, so fantastic. That's really good information. So what we've got is we've got a mainly blocked or obstructed, some weak. Some of you are hot and agitated, some of you are cold. We need to regulate that, and we're going to do it by working all the burners, but we're going to focus on the lower and the middle burner today. Okay, and thankfully we've got all the technology of Asian medicine that's 5,000 years old to help us. Thank goodness for that, right? Okay, so let's start. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to explore today is the strength of the lower burner. Now, the reason we need to have this strong in terms of Chinese medicine is because this is the root of our energy. We need to center it. A lot of meditation practices focus the mind on the lower hara, on the dantian, and that calms the mind, and it also regulates the nervous system by deepening the breath. So this is a really important thing to start off with, no matter how your energy is. Even if it's obstructed, it's a good idea to strengthen this first before we start releasing everywhere else. So let's do that. And we start off by getting our feet firmly planted on the ground. We're going to just make sure that those feet are opened up. Make sure the center of your soul is opened up. And bring your attention right down into the feet and connect down into the earth. Really important to get that grounding feeling. Particularly if you've got any heat or any obstruction in the upper body, you want to try and balance it out by getting that connection down into the earth. So let's work up from the feet, open up the ankles, relax the knees, open up the hips. Opening out, just imagining these relaxing and opening. So we've got a nice stable base there. Now we're going to rub our hands together. We want to energize the lower hara, and we're going to focus it on a magical couple of points, which are just below the navel. There's a couple of points there that are the center of our energy. So just if you find your navel and go down about an inch to 1.5 inches down, this whole area here is where we're going to center it. And we're going to place our palms over that area. And first of all, let's get the breathing down into that area first of all. So we're going to relax the breathing. We're going to imagine energy or light coming in with the breath. We're going to hold it there. Okay, so this area should just come out slightly as you breathe in. Hold it, relax the legs, and then breathe out. Okay, as we breathe out, we imagine just the air comes out and all the energy that we bring in with the breath, we imagine that going down into that point, down the dantian point. So let's do it again. Keep it really relaxed, upper body really relaxed. Bring the breath in, imagine that light or energy coming in with the breath. Fill up this area here with that energy. Keep the legs really relaxed and stable, and slowly breathe out. Relax the shoulder. Keep the energy from the breath, using your imagination underneath your hands. Okay, excellent. Let's do one more, breathing in. Relax in the upper body, keeping the energy there in the lower part of the abdomen. Hold it there, hold it. Relax the legs, keep that connection with the earth. Okay, now slowly breathe out, but leave that energy there. Okay, very good. And that's the basic thing we need to do to deregulate the nervous system, calm everything down. And if you need to get if you need more to do during the week between the classes, the first thing you want to do is get that connection with the earth, connect with the dantian, and even just 4 or 5 breaths will start to regulate our nervous system down. Okay, so now I'm going to energize the point by doing some actual qigong like healing work on ourselves. We're going to activate the qi in our hands, rubbing it together, getting the circulation going. We're going to place our hands over the air again, establish the breathing again, keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the feet firmly on the ground, keep the breath nice and calm, and we're going to start activating the point with a circular motion here. Okay, now we want to keep our arms really relaxed, keep the shoulders relaxed. The more open our arms, the less we try, the more energy will feel going down our arms and into the point. Okay, keep hips relaxed. Open the knees, open the ankles, feel the connection all the way down into the earth. Very good. Okay, let's really energize this point now. We're going to imagine energy coming down our hands. And we're going to imagine it going into the point. We're going to go deeper into this area here. And we're going to try and get that energy through the warmth to go right the way through into the lower back. Establishing this strength here is the most important first step in regulating our nervous system and getting ourselves into a really good chilled out kind of zone. Okay, so let's just activate that. Now, for those of you who feel cold and frozen, you want to emphasize the heat going in here. And if you're feeling a little bit too hot and a bit too overactive, emphasize the breathing going down here and emphasize the connection with the legs, because that will increase the amount of yin. So you can change the energetic effect of the exercise just by your focus. You can still do the same external exercise. That's the amazing thing about all this stuff. Okay, it's how you use your imagination and how you direct your energy. Okay, getting warmer. Okay, can you feel that? Now, if you've got the flexibility to do this, then we can activate this point in the middle of the waist here. This is bladder 23, it's the kidney U point. If you've got any tension in your shoulders, don't worry, just keep doing this and keep focusing the energy into your lower back. Okay, very good. Okay, again, very light pressure. I'm just using the really relaxed arms and just allowing that to activate the lower back, which connects with the dantian. Okay, very good. I'm just going to shake out. Okay, shaking in. Okay, let's see how we feel now. Feel those legs nicely connected. Feel the breathing more relaxed, and feel more of a substantial feeling in the lower burner. And that's a really good start. Okay, so now we're going to do some shaking. Now, shaking is really good for two things. It's really good for mainly for obstruction, but also can help you if you're starting to get a bit frozen and things are starting to freeze up. Shaking is a really good therapy in itself, and a lot of Qigong exercises are based on different types of shaking. As we've got such a big vote for the obstruction, I think it's a really good idea to just get the whole of the body loosened up before we go into the middle burner. So let's do that. What we're going to do is we're going to systematically work down through the body, and we're going to basically shake out any tension that we've got, any obstruction. Okay? So let's do it together. So if we go down from the top of the head, the first main joint we've got that we can shake out is the jaw. Okay, we're going to shake out the jaw, and we're going to just let it go. Okay, and just gently nod and shake the head, and let the jaw open up. And I'm just shaking it down like this. If you want to close up, if you really want to close up, I'm going like this. Okay, just shaking that jaw out. Nice and easy. We've got plenty of time. There's no rush. We're just going to let go of that jaw. Okay. Okay, very good. You feel that? If you're getting any sort of tension at night, maybe some grinding, this is a really good exercise. You can just light touch around the jaw as well, focusing your attention in there. Very good. Okay, so now we're relaxing the throat, and we're going to shake out the neck area. So now I'm just going to let the head float up freely, and I'm just going to shake out the neck. Okay, nice and carefully here. Don't want to stretch it too much. I'm just getting in touch with that string that suspends, the imaginary string that suspends us from above. And it's almost like I'm just shaking my head like this, creating space in the thoracic vertebrae and the cervical vertebrae. So we're opening up the neck and the back, shaking the neck. Okay, very good. Okay, feeling loose already. We're going to work down now into the shoulders. Keep that jaw relaxed, keep the neck relaxed. And now what I'm doing is just letting the arms do this. As I'm doing that, opening up all these channels, yang channels in the upper body. Very good. Okay, now let's keep going. We're shaking out the elbows. Keep the jaw loose and the neck loose. And then down to the wrists. And then down into the fingertips. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to go up into the whole thoracic area. And we've got quite a lot we can shake here. We've got the sternum. We've got all the ribs that go right through and connect with the thoracic spine. So let's just shake those about, moving them like this. Got anywhere particular that you want to just shake out? Very good. Keeping the jaw relaxed, the neck and the arm relaxed. We're going down into the diaphragm, and now we're starting to shake out the lumbar area. I'm just shaking, gently shaking and jiggling about all the internal organs here, shaking them about, just letting them relax. and relaxing down into the sacrum. And this is when we start shaking and opening up the hips, keeping the upper body gently shaking. And now we go right into the hips, and just bounce on one leg. Keeping everything moving. Okay, right hand to the knees, and the ankles, and the feet. And then the whole body all at once. Okay, excellent. Okay, time to check in. Now let's see how we feel now. Okay, checking connection with the feet, connection with the lower hara, and now just check out the whole of your body, particularly if you felt obstructed. A lot of us felt obstructed at the beginning of the session, and if you do tend towards blockage and obstruction, shaking is the way to go. It's one of the best exercises we can do. 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day, combined with low abdominal breathing, will be definitely really useful. Okay, so that's a really good start. My jaw feels amazing. And hopefully you can focus in on any particular area that you think you need to release. Okay, the return of the middle burner. What's happening, people? What is happening? Okay, well, basically we've seen waves of kind of like shock and grief and things like that tend to affect the upper burner. But when we start getting a little bit more frustrated, and certainly if we start getting worried and anxious, that's when it starts to hit the middle burner. We don't want that. We don't like that. We don't want to be frustrated and we don't want to be anxious. And we can do something about that by regulating the middle burner. There's two ways we can do it: with the channels, mainly on the legs, okay, and also directly by working the middle burner. So let's start off. Let's start off by doing the swinging exercise. I'm going to turn the heating down. I am getting warm. I'm definitely getting warm. I'm turning the heating down right now. I think it's the shaking. Really did warm me up. Okay, so let's get this middle burner sorted out. Now the shaking and the releasing is going to help the middle burner because it removes obstruction, and the liver channel and the stomach channel, they don't like obstruction. Okay, everything wants to be smooth and kind of moving smoothly. So let's give it a bit of a hand, starting off again with the feet, connecting the feet to the earth, opening up the legs, connecting the head up with that thread. And now we're going to smooth out this middle burner, okay, by twisting. A really good idea. So we're going to just let that thread twist, start twisting. We're keeping the legs nice and solid. Keep the knees above the feet so that you've got the twist in the middle. And the action is just smoothing it out, okay, nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Okay, so I'm just going to regulate that. You just take it really easy here. Keep your shoulders really relaxed. Okay. Let your energy go down into your feet. Keep the spine nice and flexible. Float the head up. Just give plenty of space to that middle burner. Just open up and release. Very good. Okay, I'm just going to give a nice feeling of calmness. And free flowing. That's what we want. We want it to be nice and calm and nice and free flowing. We can help that by doing some therapy, which is working directly on the abdomen. So just try this. We're going to rub our hands together, place our hands around the middle burner. We're going to work around like this. We're going clockwise around the digestive system, nice and slowly, and we're just going to kind of encourage it. When we get to the top here, we're just going to relax, gently press in, and kind of smooth and soothe the whole middle burner. Okay, and then we can go in around the navel, slightly smaller circle. Again, very good for the digestive system, very calming for the digestive system. Especially if you feel a kind of knotty feeling around here, you want to kind of ease that out. Once we strengthen the lower burner, the next thing is to get that middle burner nice and smooth. And we're going to need a bit of help with this, because we've got popular votes for obstruction, and we've got popular votes for the middle and the upper burner. So let's make sure we do a thorough job in really helping out this area stay nice and calm. And one of the ways we can do that is use acupuncture meridians that link to the middle burner. So let's do it. Okay. And now let's start off with the stomach and spleen. Important energetic experience of the stomach and spleen to connect us with the earth. So let's get back into those feet, everyone. Get back into the feet, into the legs. And now see if we can feel a connection between the earth and the middle burner here. So we're going to hold around here. Okay, and now just see if you can feel a connection here in your mind, focusing down towards the front of the legs. We're going to follow that down by tapping gently here, either side of the abdominal muscles. This is where the stomach channel runs, by the way. Okay, and it runs right through here and then goes into the legs. We're just going to energize the stomach channel. It's on the front outside of the legs. Exact location is not too important. It's just if you put your hands on the front of your legs and move to the side around here, kind of there, that's the stomach channel. Okay, now as we're doing that, we're relaxing this whole area here. Just use your mind to relax this area and connect it down into the stomach channel. Nice and calming. Doesn't that feel good? Okay, now if you can develop our internal sensitivity, what will happen is you'll find that certain areas, like here, for example, I can feel this really calming this down more than other places. So what we found there is we found acupoints or subos along the channel that have a particular effect. So let's see if we can just find them. Tuning in, find your favorite bits. And slowly work down the channel, around the outside of the knee. Just below the knee on the outside, we've got stomach 36, one of the most famous points of all time, famous acupuncture points, the 3 mile point. Very good for tonifying energy and for the digestive system. And then we can go down further if you can reach. And then we're going to come up the inside of the leg, inside front of the leg. This is the spleen channel, it's another digestive channel. Okay, so it's just an inside angle there at the front of the leg. And then it comes back up here and back up to the middle burner again. Okay, let's go around the circuit again. Nice and calming. This is so calming for the stomach. Very good for anxiety and worry. It's basically when the stomach relaxes. When the stomach relaxes, it gives off hormonal messages that get picked up by the nervous system, which is a bit like the feeling you have after a nice big meal. You know, when you're kind of relaxed and content, that kind of thing. That's what you're going to get by working the stomach channel. You're going to get that feeling of not having to worry about anything, feeling safe and satisfied and nourished. This is what it's going to do. Okay, just what we need, right? Okay, so go down the outside, stomach 36, up the inside, and then back up. And we can arrive back at the middle burners. We're going to brush off a few times, just smooth out anything that we've done on the channel. And we're going to check back in again, okay? Feel like you've had a nice meal? Just check out this feeling here. Quite a bit more relaxed, a bit more open. And check out the connection with the legs. That feeling of energizing the legs, really, really good. Okay, so the other part of the story with the middle burner is the liver and the gallbladder channels, and they run down the sides of the body. And these are the ones for us that we really need if we start getting angry. Okay, if you start getting a bit angry and frustrated about stuff, this is what you want to do. Release the middle burner and work the gallbladder and the liver channels. And we can do that by starting off on the sides of the body, going down here, and going into the buttocks here. There's a point right in the hip that we use for sciatica in Shiatsu. And it goes right down the outside of the legs. Up to the inside. Okay, you're right on the inside of the legs here. This is the liver channel. That goes up here into the sides again. Down again. Outside of the legs, right on the flat outside of the legs. Okay, now if you're feeling obstructed and kind of like blocked in your energy, this is another fantastic thing to do, because the liver meridians in Chinese medicine is the one that's the most important one for keeping the energy flowing in the body. It connects with the muscles and the joints. So it's a really good idea to give this a really good workout. And again, if you want to be a little bit more sophisticated and tune into this feeling here, and see if you can figure out the best places as you go down, where you get the best feeling of releasing in the middle burner. Okay, I've got a favorite one here, just below the knee, the outside here. This feels really good. Something around here. Okay, so you can do it like a kind of game, like where's the best place to tap to get this feeling of movement. And then if you do that, we can focus what we're doing and we can make it even more effective each time we do it. Okay, how about this? Fantastic, really good progress. Feel this now. Legs feel pretty good, don't they? Connected with the earth. Okay. Middle burner, definitely more relaxed and open. And a nice connection there with the lower burner and the earth. Okay, so now we come to the upper burner, and quite a lot of big voting for the upper burner and quite a big voting for obstruction as well. So we want to make sure that we get the upper burner sorted out as much as we can. And the reason for that is because the lungs are related to loss and grief, sadness. There's plenty of that around at the moment. And also the heart is to do with shock mechanism and kind of emotional stress. So we want to calm this area down as much as possible and energize the lungs. So here's a favorite exercise for activating the lungs. It's a medical Qigong exercise. And basically what we do is we just lift our arms up, okay, and drop them back. Okay, it seems very simple, but it's again all internal. So what we do is we connect with our feet again, connect down into the earth, suspend our head from the top of our head, and then we start to open up the lung channel. We do that by focusing our mind around here, which is where the lung 1 and lung 2 points are. As we go back, we open up the thumb like this, and open, just give it a little bit of a stretch. So if I did it in slow motion, it would be like this. Open like that, with thumbs coming out like this. Dropping down like this. Keep the breathing nice and steady. Bring the breath as low as we can down the body, from the lungs down into the lower burner. Very good. Okay, excellent. So now let's just do some tapping on the lung channel. We're just going to work the lung channel. We're going to go from here around the lung, one point. It's good to make a bit of sound around this area here. We're going down towards the thumb. Okay, we're just going to go 3 times down the lung channel like this. From lung 1 and 2, down. Okay, and then we do the other side. Down towards the thumb. Oh, just caused a bit of coughing there. Just expelling wind or cold that's got into my lungs. Okay, and that goes down to the thumbs. We just squeeze out along the thumbs. And that's the lung channel. Connects up into the throat, and it's a very important part of the upper heater regulation to keep that energized. Okay, now we've noticed quite a lot of clients coming in the last week or two, the ones that are coming into the center. We've quite a lot of stiffness around this area here that goes out into the arm, along the middle of the arm here, down into the center of the palm. It's a very common thing at the moment, and that's the pericardium, or the heart protector channel. And it's a channel that's related to emotional protection, and it activates when you're under emotional stress. And there's a lot we can do for that on our own, working with Doing. But first of all, just check this out. Look, if you bring your arms like this, breathe in, breathe out, and open up the stretch like this, just get a sensation for the connection into the chest area from the middle finger of your hand. Okay, and that will give you an idea of how tight the heart protector or the pericardium channel is in your chest and your arms. Ideally, for us to feel kind of chilled out, kind of relaxed, we want to try and open that as much as possible. I'll show you how you can do it. Okay, when we do Shiatsu on our clients, we tend to work quite deeply around here, and then we activate the channel, finding points that release this area here. So let's try it on ourselves. Do the similar thing that we did with the middle burner. We'll see if we can find the best points that create this movement. So first of all, we can actually work, I'll give you a bit of a close-up here, we can work this area here. And what I like to do is just get my knuckles like this and tap from the sternum outwards, just so, and you'll find your knuckles kind of fit in between the ribs to make it a bit more comfortable. What we're doing is we're just releasing the connective tissue and the muscles all the way through here that connect directly into the outer layer of the heart. We're going to be kind of gentle with ourselves, but firm at the same time, because this is a channel that really does get quite strongly obstructed, and it really does react well to being worked surprisingly sort of firmly and deeply in a kind way. Okay, so we're just very kindly opening this area up. Okay, and we'll do the other side. Okay, I've got my knuckles here, right in between the ribs. Very good. Okay, and now if we go to the other side, we can continue down the channel, which runs down into the middle finger here. Okay. And the same thing as we did in the legs. Let's see if we can find any really good places. I've got one right here, one around the elbow, that feels like it's opening up this area here. Okay, when you get down to the hand, which we do after we've done 3 runs, so this is the second run, picking out any nice points, any nice areas that feel really good. Oh, oh, we're going to be so calm and chilled after this. It's just not going to be good. Okay, we get down to the hand, and what the point that you need to know is palace of anxiety. That's right here on the more or less on the center of the palm, just slightly between this first and second metatarsal. So it's right in here, and just pressing in there. If you press in here and relax your hand, relax your arm, you may get sensation up your arm and into your chest. That's the channel all the way up there. Okay, and then we can work it down like this to the middle finger and pull off. Very good. Okay. Oh, I look a bit lopsided, don't you think? You think it looks, this looks kind of lower, doesn't it? I think I've just over relaxed this bit. Okay, so we better do this side so that we can balance ourselves up. Okay, so let's do this side now. I'm going to shift over this way. Ooh, yeah, it is tighter this side. Okay, so I'm just going to release here. Down the middle of the arm. Trying to even myself up. Again, see if you can find any points down here. Ooh, that's a good one. Places that you feel more connection up into the chest. Very good. Okay, and now palace of anxiety, that point there. There it is. Okay, so I'm just pressing that in with my thumb. Relaxing, connecting that feeling through into the chest, and then finally working down into the middle finger. Yeah, and if you want to Google that, palace of anxiety, pericardium or pericardium 8, that's a really good point for anxiety. Okay, highly recommended. Okay, let's check it out. Let's see how we're feeling. Pretty connected to the earth. And now just check out that upper burner. We're just going to test again by doing this. Okay, now you notice your hands are much more comfortably going back now, much more space here in the chest. And that's one of the major things you can do if you have upper heater and you have obstruction or even heat or even coldness and you have the upper heater. All that technique will be just ideal for calming everything down. Okay, so that's the 3 heaters. That's the lower, the middle, and the upper heater. So now we've just got 10 minutes left to work on the yang channels, which run from the head down the body. We want to clear them out. And this is where I'm very excited to present our point of the week. Okay, and it's one of my favorite all-time points. I'm going to just show you it, right? It's called Bladder 10, kind of boring name, Bladder 10, but check this out. It's called the Celestial Pillar. Whoa, that's pretty cosmic. And it is actually a window to the sky or window to the heaven point. It's one of the points that are used to regulate our connection with the heavens. Very good for mental disturbances. We've got plenty of those going on at the moment. It's also excellent for the head and sensory organs. It calms the spirit, people, calms the spirit. And as an extra bonus, it actually connects with back pain. And I'm going to show you how to work it to get all of those benefits. Okay, it's one of my all-time favorite points. If you've ever had a shiatsu with me, you will definitely, or a shiatsu with any of the team here, you definitely would have had this point pressed because it's so good for everything. Okay, so we're going to build up to it by starting off with the bladder channel. Remember we did bladder 1 the other day, which is this point right here. Okay, we're just going to gently press that. We're going to build up to it by opening up the bladder channel, along the top of the head. It runs along here. Okay, now there's quite a lot of very good research that's linked posture, particularly in the upper back, with mood, so in other words, we can affect our mood by how our head is placed on our body, and bladder 10 is one of the central points to allow us to adjust that and to open up the whole spine. And I'll show you how you can work it, and particularly the most important thing is the angle of your working it. So let's rub our hands together and let's prepare the area by just pressing or squeezing along the whole of the back of the neck here. So I'm just basically pressing all around here. And as you're pressing around, just feel how your back of your neck feels. You notice that there's kind of like a kind of groove right in the middle here where you can feel your spine, isn't there, right? And then you come out and there's kind of two ridges of muscle here. And that's the top of the trapezius muscle. It comes up and it kind of supports the back of the head there. And then if you go further around, you get into more of a dip here, and there's some more muscles further outside. Okay, now bladder 10 is, to find it, is it's just at the base of the cranium here, so you can feel your cranium. It's on the outside of this ridge of muscle here. But the most important thing about it is the direction. So you don't press up this way or down or whatever. The way you press is in towards the cervical spine. Okay. Now check this out, okay, as we do it. You can either do it with your fingertips, relax your shoulders, or if you've got more flexibility, you can use your thumbs like this, link your fingers together and press in with the thumbs, depending on what's convenient. You can also do it really effectively lying down on your back. Check this out though, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to press it, and I'll just talk you through some of the ways you can feel the effects of it. So, finding bladder 10, I hope you've got it now. We're angling in towards the spine. And what we're doing is we're just going to relax the neck, let the head float up, gently press in and imagine energy from your thumbs or your fingertips going right into the spine. Okay, now as you get that energy connection with the spine, scan down your back towards your sacrum, and there's a very good chance you'll feel resonances or like a connection down into the back. And I can feel them myself in the middle thoracic, and I can feel it also in the lumbar and the sacrum there. And that connection is how bladder 10 is used to treat lower back pain, believe it or not, okay? So let's just have a little bit of a break. Let's relax our hands again, shake our shoulders out, and then we'll explore the other connection of bladder 10 because it's got a wonderful connection with the eyes. Let's just rub our hands together. Place our hands over the eyes and just connect into the feeling of our eyes, deep into the feeling of our eyes. Okay, and then we're going to press around the top of the head, just following the bladder channel round. Squeezing again the neck, and now finding bladder 10 again, just to remind you, it's just on the outside of this muscle here, the top of the trapezius muscle. Direction is in towards the, I'm going to do it with my fingertips now just for a change, in towards the spine. Okay, and now if we just relax our eyes, close our eyes and feel a connection between the eyes and bladder 10. Okay, you might like to know that the optical part of the brain is quite near bladder 10 at the back of the cranium there. There's a direct energy connection between the eyes and this point. We're just going to gently squeeze in and relax our eyes and feel that connection. Okay, and that action into the head is really important. It's used a lot for agitation of the mind, mental disturbances, staring eyes, generally feeling because it gives this calming effect to the eyes and brings a kind of attention and connection with the neck, and also helps us with that connection with the heavens. So it's an awesome point. It's one of my favorite all-time points, celestial pillar. Okay, so let's just spend a few more minutes. We're just going to really enjoy the effect of that down the spine and finish off with the yang channels. So here we are. Now look, if we stand, free up the neck, remember that feeling of bladder 10 being pressed, and let your head float up. Really enjoy that feeling of the head floating up. We're going to balance that by becoming aware of our feet again, connecting down through the legs, opening up the legs. And this is a really nice, ideal situation for the nervous system to be calm in the lower part of the body and released and free in the upper body. So let's just enjoy that feeling of bladder 10, opening up, relaxing our shoulders, and let's just work a little bit more on the bladder channel by tapping down from bladder 10 down, gently down the back of the neck and onto the shoulders. Okay, and then on the other side, I'm just going to work down the outside of the arms. Again, bring the energy away from the head. Shoulders, away from the head. There we are. Very good. Okay, and now we're just going to tap down the bladder channel, which it goes from here all the way from bladder 10 down, as far as you can reach it this way. And if you can pick it up here, just about touching, and then we can pick it up here and tap down through the lower back, around the sacrum, and then back down back to the legs. And down into the feet. Okay, excellent. So let's just shake the feet out. Jump up and down a few times. And check in, see how we feel now. Okay, so what we should feel now is nice and connected to the earth, open, relaxed joints. Take a few nice low abdominal breaths. Feel a little bit more open here, a little bit more relaxed in the middle burner, and a bit more free and open here and energized in the upper burner. And then just see if you can feel any lingering effects from the point of the week, celestial pillar. That's that place, that pillar. Imagine it like a pillar that connects us with the heavens and the earth and allows our posture to be really relaxed and stress-free. Just feel that, get that experience just spreading out through our whole body. Okay, excellent. Okay, what a lovely class. Thank you so much for attending. Let's just quickly check in with you and see how you're feeling now, assuming the poll works. How do you feel now? More balanced, about the same, or less balanced? Just see if we've had any reactions today. To see if the poll works. Yes, it's working. Occasionally what will happen, especially if you get obstruction, I would say if you get obstruction and you do shaking and stuff, you may get a short-term feeling of feeling a little bit kind of shaken up, and that can last for a little while. But I would say generally, if you've got obstruction, especially in the middle burner, you want to do some shaking, tapping. If you're frozen, then again, moving and tapping is good. If you're feeling tired, you want to emphasize more the lower abdominal breathing, do a little bit less tapping, a little bit less shaking, and more internal to build up your energy and make sure you rest. Okay, so depending on how you feel, you can tweak the exercises. If you're feeling hot or agitated, as 15% of you were, emphasize working on the feet, lower burner, increase your connection with the yin, and that will cool off the lower, cool off the head, and you'll feel a lot better. Okay, great. So just pop into the chat. Thank you very much, everyone. What a lovely class. I'm really looking forward to next week. We're going to be with you. This is our 41st class, and we're going to be with you all as long as it takes to get through the pandemic. We're going to be here for you, and thank you so much for joining in. Just going to give you all a big heart from the chat, and and then we're going to end the session. Thank you very much, Basti, for all your help on the chat. There we go. Got lots of lovely feedback in the chat. Okay, thanks for have a great week. Just look at the recording if you need some more input during the week. Keep tuning into yourself, okay, and using this wonderful technology we've got to
thank you, Cliff. Wonderful session.
Okay, thank you very much, Basti.
Yeah,
good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it myself. I look forward to these sessions myself every single Wednesday morning. Okay, great. I'll see everyone next week. Okay.